junkie, you name it, whatever. But that ain't what God says I am. God says I've been bought by the blood of Jesus, that I have been called into a higher calling, that I do not have to be labeled by the world because I'm not of the world anymore.
Preach it,
I live in the kingdom now. I don't live in this world. You know, Colossians 3:2 says, set your mind on the things above, not the things that are here on earth.
That's right.
And that's what we need to start doing. We need to start focusing on what God wants and not what this world wants.
That's right.
This world is passing away. We are but a vapor. We are, what is it? The grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God stays forever. That'd be Isaiah 48.
Yes.
That's true. I mean, we go our whole lives trying to be somebody, but really 100 years from now, who's really going to remember us? What kind of legacy are we trying to leave? You know, as for me, now I want to teach my kids about God so they teach their kids and so on and so forth. Because that's the real legacy we should be trying to be leaving when we leave this world, you know. And, you know, I feel bad, you know, because I feel like I ruined my witness in this church when I messed up months back, you know, a while back. And, you know, but God forgave me, and it was just, He sent me somewhere up north for the past 10 months where I literally laid at the feet of Jesus all day, every day. That's all it was. It was 5.5 hours of Bible study every day. You know, that's all we did. It was, you walk in, you cannot deny the presence of the Holy Ghost in that building. It's there, you know. But they do have certain, you know, like they tried to put it in my head I wouldn't be able to make it there. But I read this book and it just God kept saying to me, you can either stay in the safe zone where I'll bless you so much you can step out to the face zone where I'm going to bless you. You know? So I decided it was time to go home. It was just like it says in I think it's, and this is the scripture that just kept speaking to me before I came home.
Get out of the boat, brother. Get out of the boat.
Here it is. It's 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. It says, but if anyone does not provide for his own, especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So it was time for me to come home and provide for my household and be, you know, try to teach them what I've learned somewhat, but not force on them, because you can't force this stuff on people. Basically, your actions need to speak for you. Your words can only go so far, but it's how you present yourself. It's your character that actually speaks for you. Whenever you're going through something in your life, like I used to felt horribly, but now I know I have to cling to the Lord because it's part of what He's trying to do to get me prepared for what He's got for me. And He puts you through these things to prepare you to get you to what He's calling you to do. You know, it's adversity after adversity. It never said that we were going to have it, you know, just made in the shade when we started following Jesus. No, it said we're going to suffer as Christ did. We're going to suffer. That's part of life.
Yes.
But, you know, anyways, I was there for 10 months. I walked in there. I didn't know what to expect. That first night I was there, I hope maybe I can get a hold of these people and maybe they come and bless you all here at the church. They're called a Sports House. And what it is, it's a group of 3 women and 2 guys, and they it's a prayer house, International House of Prayer is what it is. And they take scripture and turn it into music. Well, the first night I was there, they were there. I literally the weeping spirit came over me. I just couldn't control myself. I was down there on the floor, snot bubbles coming out of my nose, you know. And then, you know, you can say, oh, no, real men do cry.
Yes.
That's just, I had to learn that too. Real men do cry.
Yes.
You know, it's called the weeping spirit, you know, when it's, you know, what I really learned while I was there, though, was that I didn't have a drug problem. I had a spirit problem. That I had doors that I still had open. You know, I don't know if a lot of y'all, but I really didn't know anything about spiritual warfare until I got there. But I realized after I got there that I'm in a war.
Yes.
And I have to learn how to fight. You know, it says if you're going to play the game, you got to know the rules.
Yes.
You know, and Jesus pretty much laid it out for us in Matthew when He was tempted in the wilderness. You know, that's, you know, whenever I should not put that Lord God to the test. Man shall not live on bread alone, but every word that comes from the mouth of God.
Yes.
That's how, you know, that's how we truly are sustained. Our lives are sustained. You know, that's what we should be feeding ourselves with, is the Word of God. This is how you really want to renew your mind. Put your heart and soul in this word, and it will renew your mind. I promise you. That's all I did was I read and I read and I read and I read. I kept reading, my mind just kept, and I finally realized it's what you put in is what you put out.
That's right.
So, you know, what are we really doing in this life, or what are we feeding our minds with that feeds our soul, that feeds our spirit? You know?
That's right.
We're really corrupted by the world that we live in, by the things we see, by the things we hear, and it shouldn't be that way. It should be, this country is what a lot of people don't realize, this country was built on God.
Yes.
This, you know, I actually read this, it was actually called the New Israel at one time. And if you think about it, the revolutionists that fought that war, there weren't very many of them, they defeated a whole big army just like Israel defeats these big armies.
Yeah.
But we've kind of turned our back on God, and He's not too happy about it. And that's just why a lot of the things that you see happening today are happening. You know, it's God's judgment.
Help us, Lord. Yes.
It's judgment.
Yes.
You know? But you know, He is a loving God, and He hasn't turned it, you know, totally put us all the way there yet, but because He wants us to turn back to Him and grip Him.
Man.
We can't do this on our own, you know. But you know, it does say in the Word that when you receive the Holy Ghost, that we will make our home in them. That means they live in us.
Yes.
Do you realize the power that you have?
That's right, man.
You have the power of the Son of God that dwells in you. It's you have to have faith, though, and belief to learn, and also be meek with that power. That's a very important thing.
Yes.
Meekness does not mean weakness. Meekness means that you can control the power that you have within you.
Yes.
And you have to learn to control that power. You have to learn what's the right time to do something and the wrong time to do things. You know? And, I mean, I've seen all kinds of things while I was up there. I can just tell you guys about it. I seen a girl come there that just came straight off the street from New Jersey that'd been on a heroin bench. She walked in there and she was going through DTs. We all laid our hands on this girl and prayed for her. She wasn't sick anymore. All her sickness and everything went away. She was fine the next day. I've seen a guy dislocate his shoulder when we were out on Memorial Day. We laid our hands close to him and started praying. I watched his shoulder go back into place. I mean, I've seen things that I thought were just on TV, were hocus pocus, but it's real. I'm telling you, I've seen it with my own eyes. And these people weren't getting paid to do this. This was real.
That's right.
God actually even used me. We had this prayer meeting after our banquet up there. November the 5th, we had this big prayer meeting with Steve Schwartz. Is like he's the top dog of mission teams. He was there. They had this big prayer meeting going on. And God used me that night to actually lay 6 of my brothers out in the Holy Spirit that night. I couldn't believe God would use me to do that. And I just give all the glory to Him for it.
Yes.
You know? And that started causing a few of my problems there, because that's whenever they started saying, well, and like I started then, you know, God's not a respecter of persons. If God used me to do it, then what's such a big deal about it?
That's right.
But, you know, that was just another sign from God telling me it was time for me to move on.
Man.
And, you know, I've been blessed, you know. I've been able to come home and take some of the stress off the kids' grandma Betty sitting back there. While I was there, she had a stroke, man. It took everything I had to not just run out that door and come home, but God told me to stay there because I wasn't ready yet. You know, He said, no, you stay here. You're going to learn to trust me. And I trusted Him, and He blessed me for it.
Yes.
You know, we have to learn to trust.
Yes.
That's the main thing, to trust in Him. You know? And, you know, the main thing that I really learned while I was there was I had to remain teachable, accountable, and responsible.
Yes.
The main thing is to remain teachable. When you think you know it all, you really don't know it all. We're never going to know it all. We're never going to arrive until we get to heaven.
That's right.
None of us will.
That's right. Amen.
Well, you know, I try myself to learn something new every day, you know, especially from this Word. And, you know, I know who I am now, you know, and I've just learned it's, you know, the way you present yourself, the way you speak, the way you know, just carry yourself out as an individual daily, especially your actions speak for themselves. Your words are meaningless if your actions don't back them up.
Yes.
And, you know, anyways, the whole time I was on the mission, I was there for 10 months, and I made it through the program. I was there for, I turned training counselor. I actually got the opportunity to go to another mission in Ohio, and for their graduation banquet, which was a pretty awesome experience there. Got to meet David Hogan from the mission down in Tennessee and everything. And you know, God has showed me things while I was there too. You know, it's like before I was kind of on the fence about staying for this counselor, and then I decided to stay. But then God told me that I'd put enough time in, and you know, it's just that's where I really started learning about. You know, I had to trust God with everything. I had to pray about every decision I make.
Yes.
You know, I can't just rely on my own understanding because it doesn't work. It really doesn't. You know, and let's see.
Yeah. Thank you, Lord.
So, John 8:36 tells us, so if the Son makes you free, you will be free indeed. You know, some people say it sets you free, but, you know, you think about an elephant, it's on this harness, and it's just, okay, you take those things off that elephant, it's just going to keep going in that circle. He wasn't made free.
That's right.
The Son makes you free, you run with it.
That's right.
You know,
Yes.
you know, and it's our job as Christians to spread this gospel, this good news, to let people know what God has done in our lives and what He wants to do in their lives as well.
Yeah.
You know, that's our job as Christians. We can't force it on them, but if they come and they're like, "Why do you get through? How do you get through this?" Jesus. That's how you get through it.
That's right.
You know, it's not about us. It's not even about, you know, I put myself last now. It's Jesus, others, and yourself. I think I've shared that with you guys in the past, but I really didn't really understand the true meaning of that. That means I put Jesus first, I put others, and then put myself last. You think about how great this world would be if everybody was like that. You know, I served Brett served him, we all serve one another. This world would be so harmonious it wouldn't even be funny.
Yes.
You know?
Man.
It's just, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. But, you know, before I got to the mission, you know, I realized what it really was. I had a pride issue. I knew I needed help. I just didn't want to go ask for help because my pride got in the way. I thought to myself, oh man, I've been cooped up with these men all the time. I don't want to be cooped up with men anymore. Blah, blah, blah. And I could have, but it was all God's plan. I mean, I'm so thankful I got to go where I got to go. I really am. It's the best thing that ever happened in my life. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was probably the best thing that could ever happen to me because I know who I am now. I know that every day I get up, I have to choose to serve the Lord. Every day is a choice. You know, you can choose to go back to your old ways, which aren't going to get you nowhere, building your own kingdom, or you can choose to build the kingdom of God. And me, myself, I choose to build the kingdom of God. And when I start seeing myself start to build my own little kingdom again, I get rid of them real fast, you know, and making idols out of it. You know, that's what people don't realize. Anything can be an idol. My kids over there can become an idol. You know, you can't do that. God has to be first in your life. You put God first, everything else is going to fall right into order. And you know, Matthew 6:33 says, "They seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you." Seek first the kingdom of God. So in everything, in all things, we must seek God first. And everything else is going to fall together. You know, I try not to dwell in the past. You know, I was going to do my testimony, but I've done that so many times. I'm trying to just forget it, you know, just let that past go. Sometimes I try to remember where I came from, but I'm not that person anymore. I don't think there's any sense in talking about it, really. Y'all know where I came from. He's dead. The old man died. I buried him. But I've learned so much things, like how much power we really have, you know, in our speech and our tongue. The power of the tongue, that has life and death in the tongue. So what are we really speaking to people? Are we speaking life to them, or are we speaking death to them? Are we building people up, or are we tearing people down?
Come on.
You know, we need to be building people up. You know, we all make mistakes. We've all fell short. And we're going to continue to fall short. We're flesh. You know, we are made of flesh. But we have a spirit in us. We got to learn We've got to learn to deny the flesh and to let our spirit live through us. You know? And
Thank you, Lord.
another big one is something that you'll learn the easy way or the hard way there, and it's 1 Peter 5, 6 through 9. It says, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God so that he may exalt you at the proper time, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. Be of sober spirit, be on the alert, for your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking about you, to stand firm in your faith, knowing that the same occurrences of suffering are being accomplished by your brethren who are in the world.
Yes.
You must stand firm in your faith.
Yes.
Because our brothers and sisters out there going through the same struggle we're going through. It's life. Life hurts. Life sucks. But live this life for God, man. You're gonna have eternal life.
Yes.
You know, this isn't the life to build your kingdom for. You should be building treasures for heaven. You know.
Yes.
Because all this stuff out there, like Brett talked about last week, it's gonna rust. Moths are gonna eat it. It's gonna be gone.
Right.
You know. So what's the sense of building all these things? You know, I've learned just to be content. You know, Philippians 4:11. Not that I speak from one, but I've learned to be content in all circumstances. You know, you have to learn to be content with what God gave you and quit wanting more. If He gives you something other than a need, then consider it as a blessing because it really is.
Yes.
You know, it really is. But when you are blessed with something, it's not for you. It's so you can bless out to others. You know. And I learned this up there too, you know, when Jesus fed the 5,000 people, we're kind of like the bread, you know, He breaks us, then He blesses us, then He feeds the multitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how broken are we? I mean, we have to remain broken. I mean, you have to remain broken, you have to remain desperate, you have to remain hungry for God's Word.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how broken I was until I got there. I've been living in denial thinking there's stuff that I had bottled up. I didn't even realize they had bottled up until I got there and I just let it go. Laid it at God's feet. I said, look here, I can't take this no more. You know, I chose to cast my cares upon Him. And sure, I struggle daily just like every one of y'all do. I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. But I'm not going to go back to letting the world say that I'm this and I'm that because I know who I am. Life's too short to just live it for pleasing men or please God.
Right.
You know? And like some people, a lot of people, you know, they don't come to church for the right reason. Some people just come to church for show. You know, but it says that God will not be mocked. It's cool, quit playing patty cake with Jesus.
Right.
You know, this is the way I look at it now.
Right.
I mean, I take this stuff very seriously now. It's just, I realize how serious it is. You know, it's life or death. You know, we should choose to die daily, you know, so more of Him can live through us. You have to pour yourself out every day so you can be filled up with the Spirit of God. You know? And I have something I'll share with you guys some other time. It's called the 5 Steps to Surrendering. If I knew I wasn't going to be doing my testimony, I would share that with you guys because there's a lot of good nuggets in there. The guy from Set Free down there, Josh Gordon, he kind of blessed me with a little bit of it, and I took the rest of it and put it all together. And then I showed him what I came up with when he came over to make it. He's like, wow, that's awesome, you know. But, you know, I'm just so glad to have a church that I can still come in. I don't feel like I did let y'all down, but I don't feel like anybody's looking at me a certain way because of what I've done and everything, because we've all failed. It's like Terry said last week, you know, we've all messed up, but thank God we got a God that's forgiving.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Yeah.
It took me 36 years to figure this out. You know, I'm not going to forget what Whitney Ward told me when I went out there that Wednesday before I got sitting up there at the House of Hope. He said, Teal, you're like the man that laid by the pool for 38 years. When are you going to pick up your mat and walk? You know, I got to think to myself, man, I picked that mat up a couple times, but I laid it back down. I I pick that mat up, and not only do I pick that mat up, I pick that cross up, and I carry that cross daily now too. You know? You know, you gotta, you know, a lot of people think we have to, you know, Jesus ain't looking for sacrifice. He just wants you to be obedient. Obedience is over sacrifice. You know, yeah, you should present your bodies as a living sacrifice, but just be obedient to what, you know, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. You know, if you do those two things, then everything else is going to fall in line. You're not going to break the rest of the commandments, because how can you? Because it's all that, you know, it's really all about love. It's all about love.
Yes.
You know, better love than a man who laid his life down for his friends. You know, we should lay our life down for Jesus because he's our friend. That doesn't mean dying. That means dying to yourself. Lay your life down. Let him work through you. That's what he wants to do. You know, it's not what do you want me to do, Holy Spirit? No, what do you want to do through me? You know, once you start doing it, you know, I started hearing I and me, and I was like, oh man, spirit check. Because it's not about me. It's not about I, it's about him. It really is. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be standing where I am right here in front of y'all today. I mean, this is just like, you know, I pictured this moment for a long time, you know, and it's just awesome. I thank God for giving me this. You know, he gave me a vision of it, but I started to see that vision become more and more and more now. You know, this is where I belong. This is my home. This is where I belong. You know, yeah, it's like the powder and the clay. You know, whenever he's molding us, he breaks us back down, starts working us again. Praise God. You know, and you know, like with this Ephesians chapter 6, basically, you know, it lays down a lot for you too. A lot of people don't realize this. They think it's, you know, when you get into it with somebody or something, it's this person. And I've come to realize that it's really not. I'll read it for you. It says right here, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. Right there it tells you, our struggle is not against our brothers and sisters, it's against things we can't see. It's the spiritual realm that's going on around us, these evil forces. This is the devil's playground, whether people want to realize it or not. I mean, you can watch TV and plainly you can see that it is.
Yes. Yes.
So are you ready to fight? Do you get up every morning and put on the armor of God? I mean, that's very important. Put on the armor of God every morning. And you know, this is right here is the most powerful weapon that you have, the sword of truth.
Yes.
It's the Bible. The devil cannot play with you when you read this word. That's why it's important to take these scriptures and to write them on your heart. That way you know them, and when you're not around this word, you got the word in you, and you can knowledge. I rebuke this in the name of Jesus. You know, people probably think I'm crazy sometimes because I walk around and I rebuke this in the name of Jesus, 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 Jesus. Think I'm crazy? I guess I am, but we're peculiar people. We're Christians.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just, you know, I used to let little things get me beside myself, and nothing really bothers me anymore. I mean, I'm pretty much a happy-go camper anymore. I choose joy.
Yeah.
Every day I choose joy.
Yes.
You know?
Thank you.
And the battle's been won. Jesus won the battle, man. So walk in victory. Walk around and like you've been defeated, like you've lost your dog or your best friend, because you haven't, man. You've got the Son of God right there with you, with his arm on your shoulder, leading you and guiding you every path, as long as you stay in his will.
Yes.
You know? That's the main thing, man. Look, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Now, right there tells you on earth as it is in heaven. That means thy will be done, period. It's God's will for our lives. And our will, I think God's will for our lives is just to love him, serve him, and love one another, pray for one another, and serve one another.
Yes.
You know? I honestly believe that.
Yes.
You know? who cares what people think about you? They're the idiots. That's the way I look at it. I don't care what people think about me no more. I really don't. I spent too many years of my life trying to be cool. And the only thing that ever got me was misery and pain. So it ain't about being cool anymore. It's about, Lord, what do you want me to do today? Because really, ain't that being cool? I mean, not very many people are true Christians. So that is actually cool. The definition of cool is something not very many people do. So, So, you realize, that he says in there, well, we are sheep, but actually, we need to become lions.
Yeah.
He's the Lion of Judah. We need to become lions and be ready to fight.
Yes.
I mean, it even says, here Paul even says it, is in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3, it says, suffer hardship with me as a good soldier of Christ Jesus. No soldier in active service entangles himself in the affairs of everyday life so that he may please the one who enlisted him as a soldier. And it's funny because there's a certain guy there, he was in the military, and I'd be like, well, thank you. He said, don't thank me, thank the one who recruited us. And I never caught on to it. After a while, I got to realize he's talking about Jesus, our recruiter. But, I just want you guys to realize, that we are in a war. And the battle is real. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen people, like I said, come there that were possessed. I've seen the things come off of them, and I've seen their demeanor, the way they look on their face, and everything change like that. There's no way to deny what I've seen. I've seen it with my own eyes. There are such things as generational curses, soul ties. All that stuff's very real. You need to pray to God to remove those things from you. And He will. Just earnestly pray and just, fervently pray about it if you have to. Sometimes He's going to see how faithful you are and how real you are about it. That's why He's going to answer prayers like that. He's not a genie. That's a lot of people get mad with God because he thinks He's a genie. He's not a genie. He wants to see where your heart really is. And she knows where it's really at anyway, but He's still going to, it's all part of the plan. I thank you guys for this opportunity tonight. This is a blessing to me.